Well, if I told that, I would ruin the whole storyline. So I would, you know, because on Dallas there's really only one bad guy, and that's Larry Hagman, and he plays it brilliantly. So I think to compete with Larry Hagman would be kind of not the thing to do. I might have a nasty side to me from time to time, but you know.
But you've had the most interesting. Tell you discovered. He was found by Loretta Young. Tell how you found. Yeah.
I was found by Loretta Young. My twin brother and I. You know, we were visiting my aunt Sandra Hurst, who was then married to George Randolph Hearst. We were down visiting her, and she was going to church at St. Victor's in Hollywood, and Loretta Young would always go there, and we thought, actually, I think if the truth were known, we sort of probably plotted this whole thing. So we went down there, and we were with her for about 2 or 3 weeks, and she was there, and about the third Sunday, she saw us go to communion, Mass and communion every Sunday. And I think she was impressed by that, first of all.
And two great-looking boys, too.
And came up to us, yes, because she was reading a story in the Ladies' Home Journal that called for twins, but the twins were very small. Anyway, the long story short, she came up to us about the third Sunday and said, you know, introduced herself and said, I'm going to do a new show, and I would love to have you boys in it if you're interested. Now, mind you, these are 2 boys from the farm, straight from the tractor, onto the sound stage. And she said, I'm going to do the show, and if you're interested, come to my house this afternoon. We'll talk about it. We did, and...
Did she come through the door?
Yes, she came through the door. She had double doors. She had double doors everywhere.
Hi, boys. Hi, boys.
So we were under contract to her for about 3 years, and that was it. She was great to us.
Your brother, you were identical twins.
We were identical. The only way people could tell us apart, including my mother. My mother couldn't tell us apart from anything. My father always could, and everybody else could except my mom. You know, she had us. So. But I have a mole here on my cheek. And that was the way that she could tell us apart. So what was your question?
No, they said that when you got a little older, you went into separate, you know, apartments, obviously, and the people would send you out for the same jobs, which was horrendous.
That's what, yeah, and that's what happened. The first time that ever happened, really, and one got a job over the other one. It was a soap opera, and they kept narrowing it down, and finally they narrowed it down to 3 people, 2 of them being the 2 of us. Now, unbeknownst to the 2 of us. So I went home one day just jubilant, and I thought, God, this is great. I got my first part. And I ran into the house and told my brother, and I said, guess what? I got this role today. And he said, which one? And he said, I was up for the same thing, and he started to cry. And that was kind of, you know, that was kind of the beginning of, because we had different personalities, actually. He was more outgoing, and I was sort of the more introverted of the 2. And from that point on, there was kind of a turnabout. He became the more introverted of the 2, and of course, I was having success, so I sort of boomed ahead.
And you've had some success.
But it was heartbreaking. You know, it was kind of...
Yes, look at the women. Of all the women, you've been with Candice Bergen and Morgan Fairchild and Christina Ferrar.
You name it, I've been with her.
Oh, and Jacqueline Smith. Who's been the best kisser?
Oh, God, I've kissed them all. Let's see.
You've kissed them all. Now tell.
I'll tell? Oh, let's see. Well, I tell you...
Jacqueline Smith.
She did just like that, too. I didn't like that so much. Now, I have to say, probably my favorite was Morgan Fairchild. Because Morgan and I just did a series together.
Paper Dolls.
Paper Dolls.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of pretty steamy scenes, you know. And as a matter of fact, we had a lot of stuff where we couldn't get out of the jacuzzi just right after the scene. We had to let the bubbles come up a little bit and hide us a little bit.
Did you ever date any of them?
Yeah.
That's a message of interest. Show tonight was. I want to thank all of you. Don Rickles, first of all, your mother-in-law.
Yeah, Eleanor, God bless.
Bonnie Franklin, Let's Tap. Patti LaBelle, Greek Theater tomorrow night. Dack Rambo, Dallas. Tomorrow night, my guests will be Dick Cavett, Florence Henderson, Lorraine Newman, and Lana Wood. So come back and watch us on Friday night. And thank you, Johnny, for letting me be here.